Hi, Gauri. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
The first question, what's your background? What did you do before? What you studied before coming up with your invention?
Yeah, absolutely. I was I've been a student of probably many things, actually. I'm always working at sort of the intersection of art and design and technology. So my background is pretty varied. I actually started out doing music production and video production work, went into a little bit of combining that with computer science, and then went on to focus more on design and product design.
On product design, right. So you started in MIT, right?
I did. I did my graduate work at MIT.
Right, and then while being in university, you come up with Clocky sort of prototype before.
Yeah, Clocky actually just originated out of a class project. I had an assignment to solve a problem, an everyday problem, and I decided to solve my personal problem of not being able to get up in the morning on time. So I created a prototype for what was supposed to be a week-long class project, and it turned into already a 7-year business now.
Wow, 7 years. But I mean originally, because the way I found out about yourself and your company was I had this application on my cell phone once, and then they used to update me with cool sort of business stories every week. And then I read the story about you, and it was said that you had this sort of university project. You launched the video, and then you forgot about it for some time until it got viral. Is it true? Can you tell us a little bit about this story?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it was really just supposed to be a week-long class project. I was just trying to, get a good grade in the class. I wasn't thinking about making a commercial product or starting a business or anything at the time. I was just a student. And so I made this prototype and presented it to the class, and it was received really well. People really enjoyed the concept. Everybody laughed. But I really didn't think much of it at that time, that it could be a commercial product, just because I wasn't thinking along those lines. And I ended up taking the prototype, just putting it in my closet. And at the time, I was trying to finish my thesis for my master's work at MIT. So I was focusing on the master's work. And a few months later, because I had posted it on the course website, as that was part of the sort of assignment, was to post pictures and sort of a description of our projects. I posted on the course website. A blogger had sort of stumbled upon it, and this was like a tech blogger, maybe for Engadget, and started writing about it, blogging about it, and almost overnight it just became this viral thing where everybody in the blog community was talking about it. And soon after, I was hearing from press all over the world wanting to know more about this project and if it was going to become a commercial product.
So you mean that before actually launching your company, you had your first customers?
Absolutely. Right away, people were contacting me, not just the press, but people contacting me wanting to purchase the product. They were emailing me and phoning me. And, I was just a student, and I just had this one prototype of this project. So I actually built a mailing list at that time so I could collect all of the contact information of people who wanted to purchase, what would be Clocky. And I just started trying to figure out how to put a product on the market.
Great. So, Clocky, what is it? I mean, could you describe for our readers and those people who are watching us right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's basically an alarm clock that will jump off your nightstand when the alarm sounds, and it's engineered to fall to the ground from your nightstand and roll around on carpet or wood floors. So it'll just kind of keep going in random directions in your room until sort of forcing you out of bed, so that you can't just hit snooze over and over. You have to get out of bed to silence the alarm clock.
Can you actually stay in the bed? Will it stop one time eventually?
Well, the hope is that it'll get you out of bed, and that's the idea, of course, but it goes pretty far. Sometimes some of our customers have reported that it has left the bedroom and gone into other rooms in the house and traveled down the stairs. So Hopefully you can't reach it from your bedside.
How long did it take you to create the whole thing? Because as far as I know, you're an engineer yourself and designer, and you did pretty much yourself all the work.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to start a company at the time. I didn't know how to put a product on the market. So for the first 6 months after I started getting all of this press coverage, I started looking for the perfect partner who would help me produce this product, who would know about manufacturing a product and who would know about distribution. But I actually couldn't find the right partner at the time. And I ended up getting some advice from other entrepreneurs as well as product designers who told me, I could just try to do it myself. And so that's when I started to kind of stop looking for the right partner and just learn how to do it all myself. And so I ended up just started searching for manufacturers on my own, working directly with the manufacturers on the design and the engineering. At that point, it took about another year to actually have the product ready to go, ready to be launched for mass market.
So, I mean, being an entrepreneur, was it something you always sort of craved for? You dreamt about it, or it would just happen, all of a sudden once you were studying and coming out?
No, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur because my parents were entrepreneurs and I thought they worked way too hard. And I never understood why they would want to do this because they were working all the time. But of course, when this happened to me, this huge opportunity presented itself to me and I started working on it. I soon realized why it's such a wonderful thing to be an entrepreneur and to, have a vision and bring it to market and have control over that vision and just really learn the entire process. It's a very gratifying feeling.
I mean, since the inception of company, how did you come up with a name? How did you come up with a concept and business model? Or was it hard?
The name for Clocky really just popped into my head, similar to how the name for the product, or how the product idea popped into my head. I don't know. I guess sometimes the simplest ideas are the ones that, come to you the easiest. So I think there was just sort of a simplicity there that just kind of came to me naturally as I was trying to figure out, well, what's the best way to get me out of bed and force me out of bed. And the name Clocky kind of originated because I always had a vision for the product as something lifelike, something with character and personality. And, of course, putting a Y at the end of it makes it cute. So so it was really just something that felt right at the time of sort of following my intuition on, how this product should be conceived and envisioned.
Was it hard to find a place to manufacture the product?
That is definitely a challenge. They're always, I think that's probably the biggest challenge, is finding the right people to work with, whether it's, your manufacturing partners or your fulfillment house in terms of, when you're selling consumer products, or, even employees. Those are finding the right people to work with, I think, is the biggest challenge. But after a few times, I think I finally got it right.
Because I read somewhere that you produce everything right now in Hong Kong.
Yes, I do. We do manufacture the products overseas.
Right. You don't produce it in the United States.
Right. We produce overseas.
Right. Was it like this from the beginning, or originally there was someone else who was manufacturing?
No, I decided to do that from the beginning. I mean, I think the reality is that if you try to make something in the U.S., it'll be 5 times the cost and nobody will purchase it. So, unfortunately, that's the situation we're in today. So.
The question I ask everybody on our program normally is how hard was it to sort of establish your company in your place right now? Because, I mean, you registered in the United States. The whole process, is it hard, is it bureaucratic, or it's fast and smooth? How was the whole process?
Actually, starting a company, registering a company in the U.S. is pretty easy. I think it's actually much easier than in other countries, from what I understand. So, just setting up a company in the U.S. is easy. Just the actual registration part. Of course, building a company and executing it is a whole other thing.
So speaking about execution, what's your role right now? What you do? You sort of CEO right now, or the founder, or the guiding angel? What's your role?
Well, I'm the founder of the company, but I've recently been able to bring on a new distribution arm for our company. So I'm actually moving away from the managing the sales and the distribution side of things and managing people to really being able to focus on new product development. And that's of course my main interest is in the creative directing and the development of the brand. So that's really what I'm focusing on at this point. And then I have new partners to help with the running of the business, I should say.
How many people are running business with you right now?
Actually, we've been able to partner with another company, and so I have a couple of employees right now. But the company we've partnered with, they are they're a much bigger outfit,
Right.
about 30 people.
So how long did it take you to become profitable? In Inc. magazine, I read an article about you when they called your cool, kick-ass, profitable project. But I mean, were you profitable from the beginning, or it took you a while to get so?
It didn't take too long because, I had this huge mailing list of people and I was able to sell my products direct online. And so, the first sales I made were all online, and I think we broke even after about 2 months of sales.
Which was a while ago. So can I ask you what's the revenues right now or last year?
Well, I can't really disclose that right now, but we continue to grow every year. So,
Well, I mean, up to this sort of moment right now, how many units you managed to sell?
we've sold upwards of 500,000 units.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
That's cool. And so your product line, how many products you have currently? Do you have Clocky, Toki, and
Yes, we have Tiki, Taki, and Clocky, and we have a few different special edition versions of some of those products. And hopefully by early next year, we plan to launch a couple of new product lines to add to that, the Clock family. So we're pretty excited about that. We've got a lot of exciting things in the works actually right now.
can you say what's the next big step for your company right now, for the next couple of years?
Well, we're really diversifying. We're continuing to build on the concepts that we've already created and find new markets for those concepts as well as new designs, new interface designs. I'm really interested in minimal design and simplicity and character-driven design. So we want to continue to focus on that. But I also want to diversify into other products for the home.
Can I ask what's your favorite part of being an entrepreneur? And also the part that you don't like, if there is any.
My favorite part is sort of without a doubt starting from nothing and, starting from a concept and then having a vision and really overseeing it. And, sometimes that process can be 7 months of designing something and realizing we've gone down the wrong path and we need to completely redesign it. But that's kind of exciting to me, to be able to sort of go through that process and go through those development phases and really see something to fruition. Probably my least favorite part would be just managing the business side of things, although I like to have knowledge of how all of that works and I like to be involved in all of it. I don't like to do the day-to-day business operations. So at this point, I've been doing this for 7 years, so I've been able to figure out a way to structure the company so that I do spend more of my time on the creative development.
Do you have any breaks from time to time, or you work 24/7, 365?
No, I used to work all the time. Now I kind of have figured out how to have the work-life balance. But yeah, I've definitely started out doing 80-hour weeks without a doubt.
Because many entrepreneurs, they always say that it's hard to strike the golden balance, right? The golden middle between your private life and your working life. Do you have any advice for it?
For me, I just found that I was more productive when I was doing other things, when I was, incorporating other things I love into my life, whether that be exercising or cooking or other art projects, and of course, socializing, being with my friends and my family. So when I do that, I realize that there are so many benefits for my working life. So that's just kind of the idea that I keep in my head. Even when things start to get too busy, I always try to remember that that balance is good for me.
Right. How is the market right now for the alarm clocks and for the projects that you're working on right now? How fierce is the competition there?
I think it's interesting because, of course, a lot of people use their phones today for their alarm clocks, but I still find that is so much interest in design products, and I think of our products as more than just an alarm clock. We're hopefully imparting a new idea and design that, initially it was not, alarm clock just doesn't have to be something that beeps at you. It can be more interactive. It can be more interesting than that. And that's hopefully a philosophy that we're able to use in more of our products today. And I think people do have this sort of interest and this awareness about design is growing.
Because on Kickstarter, once they get this project, I think it was called Ramas, when they come up with this sort of creative advertisement against, it was kind of anti-Clocky advertisement. I don't know if you saw it or not before, but I mean, what do you think about those marketing moves? And do you do such
I think it's fun. I think it's always nice when people make fun. It's not supposed to be a serious product. It's a fun product. It's trying to think about alarm clocks in a different way, but also it's something that hopefully people will laugh at as well.
Right. You probably know that Harvard Business School come up with a case study about Clocky, the running alarm clock.
Yes, I actually work with a professor over at Harvard. We've written 2 case studies together. We're actually working on a 3rd right now together.
Amazing. Could you expand on this? How does the whole process work?
For business school, of course, I'm interested in some of the more operational elements, the marketing decisions that went into putting, a product on the market, the various challenges that are specific to different startups. And so I really just got to focus on my story and sort of just, from the beginning, it was sort of a decision of actually relating back to your last question of, people making fun of the product. Is it a serious product? Who is it for? Those kinds of questions that we would delve into more. So it's definitely interesting to look at things from those perspectives. When I started Clocky, it was really a design idea I had to solve a personal project, a personal problem. But I think working on the Harvard stuff, it makes you sort of look at the other ideas that go into putting a product on the market. Things that I wasn't necessarily exploring as a designer, so the business side of things.
Sure, because you have to balance different roles. What do you think about the role of academic education? Since you studied a lot, you did your master's degree in one of the best schools, so what do you think about the role of academic education for entrepreneurship in particular? For me,
I think I followed the right path for myself, and that was both of my degrees, my undergraduate degree as well as my master's degree, were very hands-on, and it's very much about executing and coming up with ideas, but then executing them. So for me, it was not just about having a vision, but also producing that vision, and for me, that was, I think instrumental in trying to learn how to actually execute something, whether you make a product, you make a video to go along with that product, to explain it to people. So I think I got, both the design and the engineering background, but also the communication part of things and how to market, and because I had a very interdisciplinary degree. But, I wasn't really in my books all the time. I was more just kind of working with my hands and making things.
If we think about the future right now, for the next 10, 15, 20 years, which areas of business or the economy or, these sort of things will flourish? And, which areas will produce new Rockefellers?
Oh, that's a great question. It's $1 million question. I'm sure everybody wants to know that. I mean, for me personally, my interest is not in, making incremental improvements to products that are already out there. I really like to think of revolutionizing the way we interact with things. And that might be just completely thinking of a different way to deal with something that you deal with on a daily basis. So that's really, I guess those are the ideas that excite me, and I don't necessarily think of, oh, is this going to be the most successful idea or what? I just kind of think of, is this a good idea that other people will like, and then I execute it from there.
Do you have any favorite designer yourself?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I'm in the middle of the Steve Jobs biography, and of course it's extremely inspirational. And I can relate to most of what he has been through, I think. But I don't know. I think I would need to think about that a little bit more.
Sure. You can always write us.
Okay.
What did you enjoy doing the most when you were small, about 8, 9 years old?
I think I was just interested in so many different things and that sort of led me into this path of interdisciplinary studies. So I never really focused on one thing too much, which probably was bad and good because I never became a virtuoso at anything, but I was able to do a little bit of everything, but nothing extremely amazingly well. So I just I don't know. I think I was just sort of exploring and trying to figure things out, but always open to new ideas.
Would you like to pursue some other career apart from entrepreneurship?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, certainly I love so many different parts of the arts and anything creative, really. But running your own business, I don't think there's anything better than that for me.
And at the final part of our program, we always ask, we call it table tennis set of questions. We ask you a simple question with several options as an answer, and you pick up one.
Okay.
Steve Jobs or Bill Gates?
Steve Jobs.
iPhone, BlackBerry, or HTC?
iPhone.
Tea or coffee?
That's funny. It used to be tea, now it's coffee.
Going to a party or staying home?
Going to a party.
BMW or Mercedes?
I'm no good at cars. I don't know. I don't follow cars. Sorry.
Fruits and vegetables or fast food?
Fruits and vegetables.
Egg or chicken? What came first?
Egg.
Being married or not being married?
That's a very difficult one. I don't know. No answer.
God believer or atheist?
I'm somewhere in the middle.
And the last question, for those guys who are watching us right now and want to start up and launch some company, but have some doubts, what would you advise?
The best thing I can advise is really to stop thinking and to start writing things down on paper, writing your business plan, and just start doing and reaching out to people and talking to other entrepreneurs and take that first step, whatever that little step may be, to figure out, what it's going to take to do the first stage of your process. And I think that really starts to give you the confidence that actually you can do this. You can start a company. It's not an insurmountable task. It's a difficult task, but it's one that can be achieved. My name is Gauri Nanda. I'm the founder of Nanda Home and the creator of the Clocky alarm clocks. And this interview was created specially for In2up.